Hello everybody, we're ready to talk about some farming because I know I am. I'm ready to go through this stuff. We're going to be talking about some very important information though when it comes to milking our cows. We're going to make sure that we prevent the intramammary infection, also known as mastitis. Next please. According to milklife.com, vitamin D, which is in milk, remains the #1 source. Next. Okay, so what is mastitis? Well, mastitis is an infection, or like a virus or a cold for a cow, that she gets in her udder. It can cause stringy milk, or clotting, or super runny milk, and in worst case scenarios, if not treated, can cause death in the cow. It can be prevented. So how are we going to prevent this from happening? Continue. There's a certain process that you really want to follow when you're dealing with cattle. You want to keep them calm, comfortable, your facility sanitary, and happy cows just makes happy farmers, and a happy farmer, well, that makes a happy life. The #1 thing that you don't want to do when you're dealing with cattle is rush them. And you don't want to hit them, and you don't want to yell at them, because doing this causes stress. And stress in the cow causes them not to be happy. Well, in the long run, when a happy cow isn't chewing her cud, she's actually not digesting properly, and therefore she's not letting down her milk, and all that milk will sit in her udder because you're not able to milk it out, and this can cause it to get infected. Because stress is, as in humans, is a leading cause of sickness. Next. The process involved is pre-dipping, stripping, wiping, and then of course over-milking, and finally post-dipping, and we're going to go over that. The first step of the process is the pre-dip. You want to make sure that you use the 30% iodine mixed with a sanitization solution, and you want to cover the entire teat with it to start to sterilize the teat. Next. After that, you want to strip each teat. It's called stripping, and you want to do this in order for her to let down her milk, which is the process of her releasing it into the teat so it can be milked. Okay, now we're going to wipe it off after you've already sanitized it. You're going to wipe it with a clean cloth and 2 teats per side of the cloth. You're going to do the back side and then the front side. As you can see, they're very clean, and they clean the tips of them to get all the manure off of them, and they get the udder as dry as possible. Next. Alright, now we're going to apply the milking machines and actually perform the milking. Of course, you don't want to wait any longer than 2 minutes, because after that the iodine will dry up and they're no longer sanitary. You want to start with the rear udder there on each quarter and move your way forward until all 4 are on there. Now, once the milker is done, usually they'll come off automatically. But if there is a chance and you see there's no milk coming out of the udder, you want to make sure and get that milker off of the cow, because the constant suction on that can actually cause infection in the udder by backflow up into the teat. And that is not a good thing. So you also want to make sure you get that off of there. Next. Once that's completed, you want to go into a process called post-dipping. It's more of an 80% iodine solution that leaves it's a thick film that will dry on the teat. It's kind of like a protective barrier, like it is when we get a flu shot. Next. Once you're done milking with those particular cows, you want to let them out and just let them walk out on their own, nice and calmly and quietly, and chewing their cud all the way out. And if they do that, they're very happy, and you're not stressing them out. As you can see, they're just walking very slowly, they're not running, and they're just happy. And if you rush them, they will fall down, and that can cause other problems. This can be prevented. It can be prevented by just following these simple steps. Keeping your cows calm, preventing it in that manner, sanitization of all your equipment, and following the procedures that we went over today. It's very, very, very important to do this, because if you don't, you can cause the death of the cow or even some serious injury from her getting other sicknesses that can come from getting mastitis. And that's all, and these are my sources. Thank you. Okay.